So let's pop inside and grab a regular bag of chips, I think. So it was first opened as the Royal Hotel all the way back in 1937, and during World War II it served as a hospital for the Polish airmen. And welcome back to a brand new video. So we're in Cleveleys. Cleveleys, a fantastic little place, and we're going to have a bit of a look at the Greedy Banker because they've opened the doors, and you just see the one of the trams coming in. So this is like Cleveleys' main sort of tram, sort of like little place where they stop and get picked up. So like I said, we're going to have a bit of a look at the Greedy Banker. We're going to pop into K's, grab some chips and have a bit of a walk around because there's all sorts happening in Cleveleys. So come and join me on this one. So the Greedy Banker, as it is known from a few days ago, operated as the original building was actually built by Martin's Bank branch all the way back in 1967, and it later became a HSBC branch. But formerly, it was actually originally a Barclays as well in 1969. Absolutely amazing. So actually, it's been a couple of banks since the Greedy Banker. And HSBC closed its doors like many other banks in August 2021, and it later became like a bit of a sort of ex-catalogue shop, and they sadly closed their doors as well, and now it's the Greedy Banker. So we'll see if we have a bit of a look inside. Like I said, it only just opened a few days ago. So this is just inside the Greedy Banker. Like I said, we're not going to go too much, but you can just see how swish it does look. So this is just to the rear of the Greedy Pigs, and like I said, it is under construction. But it's like a little terrace, a little brolly there, so you can imagine that in the summer. Fantastic. And you can actually go up the top. So I'll have a bit of a walk up the stairs, and this leads to another little area. How about this? Look at that. So imagine having your drink and catching the sun rays at the rear. So I think we're going to have a bit of a walk down the town centre itself. You notice Clayton's Jewellers, and these have been here for 3 years in Cleveleys. They've actually got 3 branches, one in St Anne's, one in Topping Street and one in Cleveleys, and they used to have one on Cookson Street, and they've closed that one down due to the multi-university project. So you know, they are doing well. They've relocated and they've got 3 branches, so at least you know that's one of the businesses which has gone from Cookson Street, and they are still thriving very much to this day. So like I said, welcome to Cleveleys. Fantastic place, and this is always great, all the little knitted things, and this is all done by Care for Cleveleys. Actually a wonderful place, Cleveleys. Definitely worth a trip if you haven't been. So there you go, look at that. Have yourself a Merry Christmas from Care for Cleveleys. Absolutely great. You see, Christmas is just around the corner. So the Hotel Regal, and this one was built in 1921, so it's 104 years old, and you can just see all the building at the top, and all that used to be belonging to the hotel, and once over it used to be shops and things like that, but so I was cut down in size over the many years. And this one is actually associated with what's called the venue nowadays. I'm going to have a bit of a look at that because there's an awful lot of history in regards to the venue. I'll pop over and I'll just sort of mention that later on. But yeah, this is the Hotel Regal, 104 years old in Cleveleys, and they've got accommodation, functions. I just had a quick look in there. It looks really nice. So like I said, the Regal in Cleveleys. So again, all along here you see the family bakery, Grimes of Cleveleys, loads and loads of little independent shops supporting this very small little town, and what a town it is. Absolutely, really nice to have a bit of a walk. Have a bit of a walk through the street. We'll pop over to Kay's actually in a bit later on. We see all the wonderful decorated pots. People just taking a bit of the atmosphere, and you see that gentleman there. And also, carefully, they've got their own little shop now, a new little shop. And they've also got benches where the yellow brick road is. So we're going to have a quick look at that. But yeah, definitely come to Cleveleys. Some fantastic little shops, cafes, lovely walks, and much more. Just on the corner, that is one of two banks building sites remaining open in Cleveleys. Everyone has closed the doors, and that's Halifax. And also just opposite there is the Skipton building site, but the branch is closed at the moment. There is actually people working on the roof in white suits. So does that say, something possibly to do with asbestos? That's the question. Looks like they're having a bit of work doing to the top of the Halifax. That one is closed temporarily. So this is Princess Road, and this was closed off quite a bit ago, and it was closed for quite a long time. And you see it's all like we'll call it the yellow brick road on Princess Road, but now there's new benches being put in place. Look at this one, so you can sit there, have a bit of a picnic. I suppose this weather you don't really get a lot of people, but there is a couple of people on this bench. It just feels like they've been to Kay's, I think, grabbed their chips and just enjoying the atmosphere, the yellow brick road. So it was making me hungry. I think when I dive in there, talk to myself on camera, sometimes I think, what am I doing talking to myself? But I guess it's all fun and games. And this is the quite a new recent Care for Cleveleys shop, you can see, and they do such a tremendous job around Cleveleys. Care for Cleveleys, if you've never been there, pop in there. So just before we pop into Kay's, there we go, there's the Cleveleys bus station. Many people will get dropped off here to enjoy Cleveleys, and I was just speaking to the lady actually. She was just having a bag of chips on the bench with her sister, and she's not from Cleveleys, she's up on a holiday, and she comes every year apparently, and she said it's the best chip shop around her about the house, Kay's. And this one was opened around 1932. So like I said, we're going to head over to Kay's. I'm not going to bother with fish today. I'm just going to grab some chips, I think. So I'm not that hungry, but you can't resist the smell, especially when you walk past people. You smell the salt and vinegar on there. Not too sure what this gentleman's doing. It's like an egg timer. Look at that on the top. It's an interesting one. So let's pop inside and grab a regular bag of chips, I think. And so I've got the fish and chips. So a bit of a show you there. You can see them really, probably end up dropping them all. But there you go. This is from Kay's fish and chips. Absolutely fantastic. Let's just try one, shall we? Absolutely piping hot. We're going to pop over to where the venue is. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story with that one, and also the pub, what used to be the pub, and that's going to become a vet now. So we're going to have a bit of a look at that, because I did drive past there about a week ago in the storms, and that is a total transformation. So I'm going to finish this, then come and join me. So we just landed on Rossall Beach in Cleveleys, and you can see the sea defence work is still going on. So he's digging a huge great hole. I wonder what that's for. That's an interesting one, but work is still avidly going on. So you got this one as well, and these guys are pushing all the sand. I'm not too sure why that is, but I imagine they do know. Some massive machine. Look at the Volvos coming on. Look at these ones. Wow, that's going a bit as well. Look at that. So I think they carry the boulders back and forwards. I think there's a big, huge pile all the way down Russell Beach. I imagine they'll be carrying them, bringing them back. So I just come for a bit of a walk along the shoreline, and just to say a bit of a mention for Graham Irvington and his lovely wife Claire, and Kyle, all the way from County Durham. So thank you ever so much for watching the videos and supporting the channel. Really do appreciate that. And just walking along here, just listening to the sea and the waves. It certainly makes you think about where life's taking you. What's life all about? So this is just some of the things what gets washed up. Look at that, bits of plastic. There's string in there, rope, paper. Look at that, even somebody's shoe. Look at that. Wonder where that's come from. You wouldn't be going on the beach in boots, would you really? That's been washed up. It's amazing. Acorns, the amount of plastic, wood, rope. But you look at all the plastic, bottles. All this gets washed up and is dumped into our seas. Absolutely. It's really shocking. Look at that. All sorts does get, like I said, washed up, bits of pallets, everything. Like I said, we're literally eating things like this. It's really concerning in some ways. Look at that, bits of plastic there, all sorts. And like I said, the fish eat this, we eat the fish. It's amazing what we are doing to ourselves as the human race. But I'm not going to sort of go on a bit of a depressing video. But these would be quite good for the old wood burn. Look at them big pieces of logs. Look at that. So as we're just making our way towards the venue, you can see all these are making their way back to base. And according to the guy I just spoke to, apparently they're well ahead of schedule. So apparently it's due to end in April next year in regards to Cleveleys. Then they'll be heading towards Blackpool. But they're well ahead of schedule. So we have just arrived at the venue, and this has got ties according to the staff at the Regal Hotel, and there's a bit of an interesting story to this one. So it was first opened as the Royal Hotel all the way back in 1937, and during World War II it served as a hospital for the Polish airmen. The Polish airmen, that is absolutely fantastic, such history. And in 2002 it was renamed the Royal Venue, what we know it today. And in fact it was the Royal Venue, then they changed it again in 2006, and it is now the venue. So it's been established as the venue since 2006, and in 2008 it suffered from a horrific fire on Christmas Day. How sad is that? So it took them almost a year, and it was completely renovated. I tell you what, my speech and language is getting a bit bad these days. So it was renovated back in 2009, and it was open, and it's actually open today as an award-winning, oh my God, what am I saying? Award-winning for the bars and the functions it does, and even the Star Wars convention display was held within these walls. And this is the venue in Cleveleys, and they got a little seating area also under shelter. And this, like I said, they do weddings, all sorts. And look at that, pause for a drink, even help the animals out. Great place. So according to the old history books, also the Jubilee Gardens in Cleveleys served as a morgue during the war times. How extraordinary is that? Jubilee Gardens served as a morgue. And to me, it's not that long ago. how incredible times change, and it's amazing. Like I say, with Blackpool, with Cleveleys, with any area, not just on the Fylde Coast, any area, you know, these old buildings are steeped in history. Absolutely extraordinary. So we're going to have a bit of a look at this pub, because I believe completion is more or less done, I think. And here is the old pub, what was abandoned for many years, and it's now become Andrew Miller Veterinary. Look at this house. Well, as this scrubbed up, so I'm gonna have a look and see if I can find out if they are open, or if they're not, when the open is. But wow, what a turnaround. Look at this. So I popped inside, and apparently this formally opened around 3 weeks ago, so I'm a little behind with the times on this one. So 3 weeks ago, and what a transformation. You just see they've just kept a little bit of the original outside features. You see the wood there, it's just a different colour to the other. How extraordinary. So yeah, 3 weeks ago this opened up, so a building salvaged and given that new lease of life. Andrew Miller Veterinary Surgery in Cleveleys. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video, having a bit of a look around Cleveleys. Absolutely fantastic place. If you've never been, certainly get yourself here. Until next time, look after yourselves, take care of each other. It's a bye from me, it's a bye from Cleveleys today. Bye bye.